If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
Hello everyone, welcome to this video on the science of making and breaking habits. A good question arises, why should you or any viewer watch this video till the end? Here, answer is very simple. Viewers who click on this video about the science of making and breaking habits should watch till the end because the video provides a comprehensive understanding of habit formation, practical tips grounded in scientific research, an engaging presentation by an expert in the field, and an emphasis on the importance of patience, persistence, and self-compassion in creating lasting positive change. And that expert is none other than Andrew Huberman. Habits are an integral part of our daily lives, and they play a critical role in shaping our behavior and action. In this video, we will explore the science behind habits, how they are formed, and how we can use this knowledge to create positive habits that will help us achieve our goals. Section 1. The science behind habits. Certainly, in Section 1, we discussed the science behind habits and how they are formed through a process called habituation. Habituation occurs when the brain learns to associate a specific behavior with a particular situation or context. The more we perform a behavior in a particular situation or context, the more automatic and effortless it becomes. This process is rooted in the neuroplasticity of the brain, which allows it to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. These new neural connections allow the brain to adapt to new situations, learn new things, and form new habits. The habit loop is a key component of habit formation. It consists of three parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is a trigger that signals the brain to start the habit. For example, the sound of an alarm clock in the morning can be a cue that signals the start of the habit of getting out of bed. The routine is the behavior itself. For example, the routine for the habit of getting out of bed might be to brush your teeth, take a shower, and get dressed. Finally, the reward is the positive reinforcement that follows the behavior. For example, the reward for the habit of getting out of bed might be a cup of coffee and a sense of accomplishment. When the brain experiences the reward, it strengthens the neural connections associated with the habit, making it easier to perform the behavior in the future. This is why habits can be so difficult to break, but also why they can be so powerful when used to our advantage. Overall, understanding the science behind habit formation is crucial in creating positive habits and breaking bad ones. By identifying the cues, routines, and rewards associated with our habits, we can begin to take control of our behavior and create positive changes in our life. Section 2. Creating positive habits. In Section 2, we discussed the different types of cues that can trigger habits and how to identify them. Cues can be classified into 5 categories: location, time, emotional state, other people, and the preceding action. Location cues are associated with a particular physical environment or place.
For example, when you enter a gym, you may feel compelled to exercise because the gym is a location cue for the habit of exercising.
Time cues are associated with a specific time of day or day of the week. For example, you may have a habit of drinking coffee every morning at 7, which is a time cue for the behavior of drinking coffee. Emotional state cues are associated with a particular emotional state or mood. For example, you may have a habit of eating unhealthy foods when you are stressed or sad, which is an emotional state cue for the behavior of eating unhealthy foods. Other people's cues are associated with the presence or absence of other people.
For example, you may have a habit of smoking when you are around certain friends, which is other people's cue for the behavior of smoking.
Preceding action cues are associated with a behavior that occurs before the habit. For example, you may have a habit of checking your phone immediately after waking up, which is a preceding action cue for the behavior of checking your phone. By identifying the specific cues that trigger our habits, we can begin to take control of our behavior and replace negative routines with positive ones. This can be done by consciously changing our environment, routines, or responses to cues. For example, if you have a habit of eating unhealthy foods when you are stressed, you can change your environment by keeping healthy snacks nearby or replace the habit of eating with a more positive response, such as going for a walk or doing some exercise. Overall, by identifying the cues associated with our habits, we can take steps to break bad habits and create positive ones, leading to a happier and healthier life.
Section 3. Breaking bad habits, certainly. In Section 3, we discussed the importance of creating new positive habits to replace negative ones. We also discussed some effective techniques for creating positive habits.
The technique is to start small. Trying to change too much too quickly can lead to overwhelm and ultimately failure. By starting with small, achievable habits, we can build momentum and increase our chances of success. The second technique is to be consistent. Consistency is key to creating new habits. By committing to performing a behavior at the same time every day, we can train our brain to associate the behavior with the specific cue and make it a habit. The third technique is to use positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement involves rewarding ourselves for good behavior, which helps to strengthen the neural connections associated with the habit. The fourth technique is to use a visualization. Visualization involves imagining ourselves performing the desired behavior and experiencing the associated positive outcomes. This technique can help to strengthen the neural connections associated with the habit and make it easier to perform the behavior in the future. Finally, the fifth technique is to enlist the support of others. Social support can be a powerful motivator in creating new habits. By surrounding ourselves with people who encourage and support our positive habits, we can increase our chances of success. Overall, creating new positive habits is a powerful way to take control of our behavior and achieve our goals. By starting small, being consistent, and using positive reinforcement, visualization, and social support, we can create lasting positive change in our lives. Section 4. The role of environment in habits in Section 4. We discussed some effective techniques for breaking bad habits. The first technique is to identify the underlying cause of the habit. Often, bad habits are a coping mechanism for stress, anxiety, or other negative emotions. By identifying the root cause of the habit, we can begin to address it directly and find healthier ways of coping. The second technique is to remove the cues that trigger the habit. As we discussed earlier, cues are an important component of habit formation. By removing or avoiding the cues that trigger the bad habit, we can reduce the likelihood of performing the behavior. The third technique is to replace the bad habit with a positive one. Instead of trying to simply eliminate the bad habit, we can replace it with a positive behavior that satisfies the same need. For example, if the bad habit is snacking on unhealthy foods when stressed, we can replace it with healthier behavior, such as taking a walk or practicing deep breathing exercises. The fourth technique is to use mindfulness to become aware of the habit. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which can help us to break the cycle of automatic, unconscious habits. The fifth technique is to enlist the support of others. As with creating positive habits, social support can be a powerful motivator in breaking bad habits. By surrounding ourselves with people who encourage and support our efforts to break the habit, we can increase our chances of success. Overall, breaking bad habits can be challenging, but it is possible with the right techniques and mindset. by identifying the underlying cause of the habit, removing cues, replacing the habit with positive behavior, practicing mindfulness, and enlisting social support, we can break free from negative patterns of behavior and create a happier, healthier life. Conclusions. In conclusion, habits are a powerful force that shapes our behavior and actions. Whether we are trying to create positive habits or break bad ones, understanding the science behind habits is key to achieving our goals. By identifying the cues that trigger our habits, replacing negative routines with positive ones, and rewarding ourselves for good behavior, we can create positive habits that lead to success. Remember, creating positive habits requires discipline, consistency, and patience. It is not easy, but with the right tools and techniques, we can achieve our goals and transform our lives. So let us take control of our habits and use them to our advantage to live happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. Thank you for watching this video on the science of making and breaking habit.